Pantry. When I was 6, we had a pantry under the stairs. A tiny room with labeled shelves, tidy, organized food. It was where I hid and felt safety, surrounded by Tupperware, labeled with the names of food: Amaranth, Buckwheat, Cornmeal, and little circle stickers of different colors telling me and my mom which day of the week I could eat which food. Even my very special food was only mine if it was the right day. Thursday was the best because I could eat carob, which was almost like chocolate, and also like alfalfa, which I ate every day before school, powdered green horse food mixed with raspberry jam. My body was filled with food I didn't like, but here in the pantry, it was safe anyway. I climbed the shelves and hid myself at the top, under the stairs, the slanted roof above me in complete darkness. The house before this one had bunk beds. My sister and I took turns. When it was my week to sleep up top, I would take my blankets and make a circle. I put myself in the nest I created and tried to feel safe. I imagined the bunk bed was a great big tree and the ladder a rickety branch that could hold only my weight, for I was a bird, light and tiny, small and safe in my nest. The pantry was even better. I could go there in the daytime and find dark safety surrounded by my food, my medicine, my uncomfortable poisons. I wonder if I felt they were better that way, close by but caged, in the pantry, in boxes, labeled as they were, held tightly in sealed plastic. The other place I hid was on top of the refrigerator. When our babysitter would yell, I would climb up and stay there, determined not to leave until my mother came home, and even then, only maybe. That was where my mother kept the Halloween candy, and I knew it was a threat to everyone, that I could eat it all, and they could not touch me. Our babysitter took the rag in her hand to try to swat me down like a bug in the corner of the ceiling, but I curled up tighter, tucked in my toes, a smaller bird, too high for her to grab me, in my nest of candy, on top of a tower of food. There was no day of the week when I was allowed to eat candy, or chocolate, or sugar, or anything that was brightly colored. Raspberry jam mixed with green alfalfa makes brown. All my suffering was supposed to be fixed by the boxes in the pantry. I found the safety I needed, high up on the shelf, in the dark, surrounded by my enemies: medicine, food, punishment, shame. By 6, I thought Thursdays were as good as it was going to get. The summer I turned 32, I took myself out for soft serve ice cream, chocolate vanilla swirl in a sugar cone. When I tasted it, I had tears in my eyes, a huge smile on my face, panic in my heart, and so many tears. My tongue lit up, my body swirled with warmth. I tasted being 4 with my dad. I tasted before so many nests were needed to keep me alive. I tasted remembering when I thought life was good, when I was young enough to believe that delicious things are for eating. I remembered being free to feel pleasure in my broken body, joy without punishment, food without pain, ice cream just because. I have missed the pantry since the day we left that house. The labeled Tupperware had become my friends. I didn't like them, but they were all I had, all I was allowed to have. They told me what to do and when to do it. They nourished me despite it all. They kept me well, I was told, though I had never felt well a day in my life, and at 32 I wondered why I was trying so hard to fix myself without pleasure, or joy, or food, when it didn't work anyway. I wasn't ever really safe on top of the fridge. I didn't feel whatever the opposite of afraid is. It didn't work. The more candy I snuck, the more alfalfa I choked down later. The more pleasure I took for myself, the more punishment I had earned. My body betrayed me again and again, with rashes and stomach aches and that horrible feeling that I might die, and if I did, it would be my fault. I don't remember wanting to die that young, but I remember knowing that I could kill myself with my own bad choices, and I worried constantly that I'd cross the line without knowing it. I tiptoed towards it constantly, sought the edge, because it was right there, right on top of the refrigerator, where no one could grab me. It wasn't easy to eat the soft-serve cone. I wanted to stop, knowing it was wrong. Without a pantry to escape to, without my pantry to hold me in tiny high-up darkness, it was hard to stay in my body, to breathe summer air and taste sweetness in the golden sunlight. No one around me knew how wild I was being, how reckless, as I simultaneously loved my broken body and hurt it, while I gave it pleasure and invited pain. It was hard to remember I was okay. It was okay to eat without hiding, without running away, without the fear of a rag whipping my toes hanging over the edge of my nest. It was okay to stay on the ground. It was my bird body, and I was in charge.